of the Don't Argue with the Facts podcast. My name is Noah Love, and today we have some more quick topics for you. We're going to discuss some of the hottest topics today in sports. Team USA barely escapes Germany. LeBron has to put Team USA on his back again. My expectations for Oregon and USC coming to the Big Ten, and my expectations for Ohio State. If they don't win the Big Ten or the national championship, is it a failure of a season? And we will have a state of the podcast address at the end of all of it. So let's get into it. Team USA versus Germany. Team USA won. I believe the score was 94-86. They just snuck it out. They escaped again. They escaped. That's what happened. They escaped. And LeBron James was incredible during this game. He was incredible. Like, he is their closer. Honestly, at 39 years old, LeBron James is their closer. LeBron James just took, or 92-88, they just took over. I mean, he did it against South Sudan. He did it against Germany. He just straight took over the game. Defensively, Steve Kerr is going to be the reason they don't win gold. They're not good enough defensively right now. Was it a better performance defensively? Yeah, but that's a low bar considering they were so bad against South Sudan. And I get it. International competition, like I said, you can get beat at any given point. But when I'm watching Team USA play, I'm just thinking to myself, I have all the talent offensively in the world, but defensively, I mean, what are they doing? I mean, defensively, I don't know why they don't hedge and ice more on ball screens. Sometimes they're in drop coverage and it bites them. Sometimes they're not. They don't stay attached to the screen and they let guys curl and get threes. And again, it bites them. Some of these teams are not going to be in awe and scared of Team USA. This is not the dream team from 1992. This team is nowhere near that. I'm saying they were trying to compare the dream team to this. No, dream team was beating every single team they played by at least 40 points or a little bit less, 35, 40 points in there. USA had a 10-man rotation. Halliburton didn't get any time, and Durant was still resting. So, I mean, I don't know if Durant's going to be ready to go. I don't know when he's going to be ready to go. Truthfully, I don't know. I would have to check when is Team USA's first Olympic game here, because he's been resting for a while. I have to look. First game Olympics. July 28th. That's what it looks like, July 28th at 11:15 a.m. Okay, so what? That's their next day. So they got 4 days. They got 4 days. Okay. Yeah, they play Serbia in France. The group phase, they play Serbia, South Sudan again. Oh boy, and Puerto Rico in the group phase. So Durant has until the 28th to be rested up, and I assume he'll probably be ready to play. I mean, and I don't think they'll throw him into the starting lineup. I think they'll probably work him back in. He'll come off the bench, and they'll play. Steve Kerr's his lineups have been interesting. Halliburton getting no minutes is interesting to me, considering when he's on the floor, I mean, his plus minus is really good. So I mean, I don't know why he's not on the floor more. That kind of boggles my mind a little bit. That he's just not that he's just not on the that he just didn't get any time. Maybe that'll change it during the Olympics. I have no clue. I don't know. I would say probably defensively. That's why he's not getting that many minutes, because his defense isn't that great. But when the whole team isn't playing defense, I mean, come on, that can't be a reason. So that was just interesting. LeBron's their closer. If the game's tight with the last 3 minutes, you gotta get the ball to LeBron. Got to. And LeBron's gonna be carrying. He's gonna be the flag bearer for Team USA. So that is great for him. He said that's such an honor, which it is. Hopefully Team USA can get gold here, but they got to lock in defensively. They just have to. There's no other option. If they want to win gold, I've been preaching it all ever since this podcast started. Defense, defense, defense. You have to be able to guard these ball screens, down screens, whether to know the switch, head screens, eye screens. That's where you that's what they need to put their hat on, some of them guys. Okay, I'm not getting the shots I want. Defense. To me, them guys need to take pride defensively. If they can do that, they're going to roll through everybody, because offensively, they are probably the 12 best scorers in the world, or they have 12 of the top 15 scorers in the world. So, I mean, offense won't be a problem as long as they move the ball and get everybody involved. Offensively, that won't be a problem. Defensively, though, they really need to lock down and lock in. But Team USA survives against Germany. Team USA, they end up in their exhibition. They didn't lose a game, but they looked a little shaky at times, and they were tested. So I guess in the overall grand scheme of things, that's good. Just don't go to Paris and lose, Okay, so next, my expectations for Ohio State this year. Obviously, it's Big Ten. The past 2 days have been Big Ten Media Day. My expectations for Ohio State this year, I expect them to be in the CFB, and I expect them to win the Big Ten. And there's no excuse. You get okay? Last year, what held you back? Probably the quarterback, Kyle McCord. He probably held you back, even though he was good. but he wasn't like CJ Stroud level QB play and to be QB play. To be honest, I think last year you didn't need CJ Stroud level of QB play because your defense was so good. That's what I think. This year, again, I still don't think they're going to need that level of QB play because I think their defense is going to be solid again, and I think they got Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly wants to run the football. That's what he's gonna. That's where he hangs his hat on. Chip Kelly is going to run the football, plain and simple, no doubt about it. If Ohio State, I'm looking at this conference, I'm saying if Ohio State doesn't win it, I mean, I know they have to go to Oregon. I know they have to go to Penn State. Granted, they've owned Penn State, but going to Oregon is going to be one of the top 4 teams in the country. I mean, I'm just telling you, Dylan Gabriel's going to be better in that system. I think at Oklahoma, it didn't fit Gabriel's strengths because what Oklahoma wanted to do last year was push the ball down the field because of the athletes they had at the wide receiver position. That's not Gabriel's strengths. Gabriel is get the ball out quick type of guy. So honestly, I think Oregon, that'll fit well because it's what Bo Nix did well. I think Gabriel will be more of a point guard like in basketball, getting it to everybody than just let's go deep. But I look at USC, Miller Moss, I think will be decent, but again, new quarterback, lost players, Washington, rebuild, Michigan, I think they'll still be good, but they're in a rebuild. There's no reason why you should not be in the Big Ten championship game. There's no reason. I'm looking at Penn State's schedule. Now, the dark horse to me in this conference is Penn State. Penn State schedule here, they got their schedule here, to me, they do play Ohio State okay, but at home. But they avoid Oregon. They avoid Oregon, and I think they avoid Oregon and they avoided Michigan. So realistically, Penn State, if we're talking about the bids, when you get to 7, 8, 9, 10, Penn State's going to be there. And Penn State, I mean, in the playoff era, if you put a 12-team playoff in the playoff era, they would have made the most playoffs out of anybody. Because they've been just outside that top 4. And part of that is because James Franklin, you got to win a big game. You haven't won a big game against Ohio State or Michigan since 2016. Or excuse me, they beat Michigan, I think, in 2019. It was 2018 or 2019. It was at home. It was a wide-out game. But they haven't beaten Ohio State since 2016. Okay. Penn State, you gotta win a big game. So my expectations for Ohio State: win the conference, get into the CFP, be one of the top 4. Your roster, what you brought in, is good in terms of your roster. What you terms of your roster, what you brought in, I like it. In terms of the OC, you got Chip Kelly. Now, here's what I will say. If Ryan Day does not perform and win, and they fire him, Chip Kelly's right there. So I don't think they just wanted to bring in Chip Kelly because, oh, we want to. I think they're like, hey, he brought back UCLA, Ohio State. Their mindset probably is, oh, we're gonna win. If we don't win this year, we have another head coach ready to take your job, Ryan Day. So step up. To me, the knock on Ryan Day, because against other Big Ten opponents outside of Michigan, he's 40-0. 40-0. He just hasn't been able to beat Michigan. And a lot of people are saying, oh, it's because Harbaugh is such a great coach and he's built that program, which some of that is true. Fine. But Harbaugh's not there anymore. So if you can't beat Michigan in a rebuild year, new coach, new quarterback, there's got to be some questions there. And I think I originally thought some of the Ryan Day, oh, he should be fired. I thought some of that was ridiculous because sometimes you go on losing streaks and rivalries. I mean, it happens. Last year's not like he got blown out. I know the previous 2 years he kind of did, which was like, can't have that happen. But one of the years they snuck into the CFP. So, I mean, hey, I thought it was sort of ridiculous. But looking at this year, if you don't beat Michigan this year, Ryan Day, I think your time at Michigan might be cooked. Okay, so now we switch gears to my expectations for Oregon and USC. Look, I don't know what to expect from. Let's go to the USC side of things. Can USC win 9 games? Yes. Will they be in the CFP? It depends on the QB player, Miller Moss. Miller Moss is sort of a quarterback that is similar to how Lincoln Riley won at Oklahoma with Baker Mayfield. They still have the explosive Zachariah, or I'm just gonna call him Zach Branch. Yeah, Zach Branch. This guy can fly. He's gonna be a breakout star in LA. I think that the defense, bro, you have to, Lincoln Riley, you have to do something about defense. At Oklahoma, your defense was garbage. Now at USC, your defense was garbage. Last year, before you went on that collapse, because you were 6-0, and then you finish at 8-5. Your defenses were, oh my lord, they terrible last year, terrible. Lincoln Riley, I can blame some of it on the DCs he's hired, but it's a recurring trend. Like if your defenses are bad, that's just Oklahoma's defense got better when he left. And that's partly because they got defensive coach in Brady Venables. But you have to be able to coach some defense. And in the Big Ten, you're going to have to win with some defense because, look, the way Michigan's built, they're not going to put up like 60 points on you that in like 3 quarters. They're not going up and down the field like that. But they'll go up and down the field running the ball. By the way, they play Michigan, I believe, that's probably one of the big games for Michigan this year. I think it's week 3 or week 4. And week 4. Yeah, in week 4. Michigan's schedule here is brutal. Oh, it's brutal. Oh, my Lord. It's brutal, y'all. Texas at home in week 2. USC at home in week 4. Washington and I think that would be week 6. And on the road at Washington, national championship rematch. 8, 9. And week 10, Oregon at home. And then obviously the last week of the regular season, the game at Ohio State. Oh, that schedule is brutal. Oh, Lord. Okay. But back to USC. Do I think they have the potential to win 9 games? Yes. Would it be if they win like 7, 8 games again? Lincoln Riley could be on the hot seat. Truthfully, because I think you had the 1 year where you almost made the CFP, you blew it to Utah, and then last year you're thinking USC they could have been a contender for the CFP. It did not turn out that way because their defense was so atrocious. Like, I'm just gonna look up these numbers because I'm not even gonna look up the averages. I'm just gonna give you the numbers. I'm just gonna give them to you. Because like, oh my, like, I don't think some people don't understand. Okay, let's see here. They gave up 41 to Colorado, they won. They gave up 41 to Arizona, they survived. They got blown out and gave up 48 to Notre Dame. Utah squeaked out a win. They gave up 34. That's for their stand. That's decent. They gave up 49 to Cal. And they won by 1. Washington came to town. They gave up 52. They gave up 36 to Oregon. They gave up 38 to UCLA. Come on, man. Like, defensively, you have to be better. And you know what the defense was at Oklahoma. So, I mean, come on, man. You got to play some if they play some defense this year, they will win 9 games based off of that because I don't think their offense is going to take a dip. But again, will they play defense? I don't know. My expectations for Oregon's going to be a top 4 team in college football. I think their wide receiver room is going to be very under the radar. I think Dan Lanning's an incredible coach. I think they're going to be good defensively. I think they got the quarterback for their system, and I think they're going to be able to run the football. And I just think they are going to be a top 4 team. And I honestly, if Ohio State was to lose a game this year, and I think they will, and I'm predicting this right now, Ohio State will go to Oregon and get beat. I'm predicting that. I think that's in week 7. They'll go there and get beat. That's what I'm predicting. Oregon, they have all the makings. If they won the Big Ten, I would not be shocked because Oregon will be that good this year. I think last year they were on the cusp of being a top 4 team, but they weren't because Washington happened. I think last year I think they were just missing. I don't even know what it was. They were this close. They were missing something. In terms of on the defensive side of the ball, even though they were still really good, I think they were missing an elite pass rush. I really do. But man, this year I think they have all the ingredients to shock people and win the Big Ten. Dan Lanning thinks he can win a national championship in Eugene, Oregon, and this could be a team that might not win it, but they could get there. I think they'll be a top 4 team in college football. I'm so high on Oregon this year. Last year I was a little bullish. I didn't really know what to think. This year I am so high on Oregon, and I think Oregon, screw it, I'm predicting it. I think Oregon will be in the Big Ten championship game. I think they will. I think they will go to Indianapolis and be in the Big Ten championship game and play for the right to have the automatic bid out of the Big Ten conference. I think that's where we're at. Okay, state of the podcast address. I started this podcast around a month ago because I love talking sports. I just love it. I think it's my calling in life. But right now I'm going to Ball State University in like 3-4 weeks. I'm moving, you know. So again, with this pod, I am going into sports communication for Ball State. I'm moving kind of fast. It's moving kind of fast. So I don't know in college how many episodes I'll be able to get to. Hopefully I'll be, because classes and stuff, and maybe in between classes I can sit down for a minute and film one of these, record it, edit it, get it out. But I have 5 subscribers. Thank you guys. Whoever you guys are out there. Yeah, hopefully my dream is to get to ESPN and hopefully maybe have a show of my own, or maybe go on First Take or anything, or even FS1. Maybe even go on The Herd one day, or I was going to say Undisputed, but Skip Bayless. He's fired. He's fired. Oh my God. Shannon Sharp and everybody was right. Yeah, so the state of the podcast, I'm gonna still keep pumping these episodes to you guys, but when I go out for college, I know my schedule, so I would have to, and I'll have to get the feel for it, and I'll see how many episodes I can pump out to you guys. Plus, I am gonna take this computer, so that I'm actually recording this on. So yeah, I'm excited for football season. I really am. I think the NFL season is going to be fantastic. I think college football is going to be fantastic. I'm just really excited for August 31st because that's week 1 of the college football season. I think it's just going to be great. That is it for today's podcast. I've been your host, Noah Love. Please like, subscribe, and comment, and share out to your friends. Hopefully they enjoy listening to me talk about sports. And until next time, see ya.